Does your home sometimes feel more stressful than restful? Do you walk into your living room and feel tired just by looking at the clutter or the darkness inside? At the Senior Nest, we've seen how small changes can completely transform not just a house, but your daily peace of mind. And today, I'm going to show you 15 Swedish secrets that will make your home safer, brighter, and more welcoming without spending a fortune. Stay with me, because these aren't just decorating tricks. They are simple adjustments that help seniors live more comfortably, less stress, less risk, and much more joy at home. And I'll start with one of the most powerful changes you can make right now. Part 1: Light and Colors. Secret 1: Natural light. Natural light is not just brightness, it is medicine for the body and comfort for the spirit. For older adults, it regulates sleep, lifts mood, and even lowers the risk of falls by making the home safer to navigate. When a room is filled with daylight, it feels lighter, more spacious, and more alive. Think about the difference between a room with heavy curtains that shut out the day and a space where sunlight pours across the floor. In the dark room, the air feels heavy and colors look dull. In the bright room, light bounces off pale walls, a mirror reflects it into hidden corners, and suddenly the whole space feels welcoming. I remember Mrs. Thompson, age 78, who once said her living room was closing in on her. After moving her recliner away from the window, replacing the drapes with sheer panels, and adding a mirror opposite the glass, she later told me, "Now my mornings feel like sunrise is waiting for me inside my home." If you want to bring this into your own home, start simple. Open your curtains each morning. Use sheer blinds for privacy without blocking light, and place a mirror or light-colored furniture near the window to spread brightness further. Natural light is the simplest design secret, yet the most powerful. It costs nothing, but it gives everything: health, safety, and a renewed sense of life each day. For seniors, light is not decoration. Light is life. Secret 2: Neutral colors. Colors shape how we feel at home. For seniors, dark or overly bold shades can create heaviness and even make spaces harder to see clearly. Neutral tones, soft whites, warm beige, gentle grays, bring calm, reflect light, and make a room feel open and welcoming. I once worked with Mr. Miller, a retired teacher. His bedroom walls were painted deep green, and he admitted it made him feel tired. After repainting with a warm ivory and adding pale oak furniture, he told me, "It feels like morning even when the curtains are closed." You don't have to repaint every wall to feel the difference. Start small, add a light-colored throw, soft gray curtains, or beige cushions. Keep brighter shades as accents: a navy pillow, a terracotta vase, a single patterned blanket. This way, your space stays calm but never dull. Neutral colors give freedom. With a balanced base, you can refresh the room season by season without heavy effort or cost. For older adults, this means less strain and a home that always feels clear, soothing, and alive. Secret 3: Light wood. Wood has always been part of a welcoming home, but the shade of wood makes all the difference. For seniors, heavy dark furniture can make a room feel closed in and harder to move around safely. Light wood, oak, pine, or birch, brings warmth without the weight and creates a softer, more natural look that brightens the whole space. I once met Mrs. Carter, who treasured her dark mahogany dining table passed down from family. She wanted to keep it, but admitted it made the room feel heavy. Instead of replacing it, we sanded and refinished it in a pale oak tone. She smiled and said, "It feels like I kept my memories but lifted the weight off them." That's the beauty of light wood. It blends tradition with comfort. You don't have to change every piece of furniture. Start with a light wood coffee table, a simple shelf, or even a picture frame. If you already have darker wood, consider light finishes or pastel paint to refresh its look. Even small accents, wooden trays, kitchen utensils, or hangers add warmth and harmony. The gift of light wood is that it ages gracefully, gains character over time, and connects you with nature. For older adults, it softens the home visually, reduces heaviness, and makes spaces easier to enjoy. Lightwood is not about changing everything, it's about letting your home breathe while keeping your story intact. Part 2: Safety and Comfort. Secret 4: Functional Minimalism. Clutter doesn't just make a home messy, it creates stress, and for older adults, it can be dangerous. Every extra object is one more thing to trip over, one more surface to gather dust, and one more distraction for the mind. Functional minimalism is not about living with nothing. It's about keeping what truly serves you and letting go of what weighs you down. I often encourage seniors to ask two simple questions. Does this object serve a purpose in my daily life? Does it bring me joy? If the answer is no, then it may be time to set it aside. Mr. Harris, for example, kept stacks of magazines that filled his living room. After we worked together to keep only his favorites, he sighed with relief and said, "I feel lighter, like my room finally has space for me, not just for paper." The goal is not emptiness but freedom. A room with fewer, more meaningful items is easier to clean, safer to move through, and calmer for the mind. Start with one area: a crowded coffee table, a closet full of clothes you no longer wear, or a shelf of knickknacks that collect dust. Keep the pieces that are useful or truly special, and donate or pass along the rest. For seniors, functional minimalism means less bending, less tripping, less cleaning, and more time to enjoy life. It is not about losing possessions, it is about gaining peace, clarity, and space to breathe. In the end, minimalism isn't about having less, it's about having room for what matters most. Secret 5: Cozy Textures. Minimalism can sometimes be misunderstood. A clean and simple home is wonderful, but if it feels too bare, it can become cold and unwelcoming, like waiting in a clinic instead of resting in a home. For older adults, warmth and comfort matter just as much as safety. That's where cozy textures come in. Soft fabrics, layered materials, and tactile surfaces bring a sense of welcome into every corner. A wool rug under the coffee table, a knitted throw draped across the sofa, or a cushion in soft linen can transform a room from stark to soothing. The textures not only please the eye, they also invite touch and provide small comforts that make daily life easier. I remember Mrs. Johnson, who lived alone in a neat but chilly apartment. The furniture was practical, yet no one wanted to linger in the living room. When we added a thick cotton rug, a few soft blankets, and cushions in varied fabrics, the change was immediate. She laughed and said, "Now my friends don't want to leave." What had been a tidy but impersonal room became the heart of her home. If you'd like to try this yourself, start simple. Place a rug where you most often walk or sit. It softens sound and adds safety against slips. And keep a warm blanket near your favorite chair for reading or watching TV. Choose cushions in different fabrics to add layers of comfort without clutter. For seniors, cozy textures are more than decoration. They protect against slips, reduce the chill on cool days, and create an atmosphere that says, "You are welcome here, you are safe, you are home." Secret 6: The Power of Plants. Modern homes often feel a little too artificial: straight lines, smooth surfaces, and lifeless corners. For older adults, this can increase feelings of isolation and fatigue. Adding plants is one of the simplest ways to bring life back into the home. Even a single green leaf on the windowsill can soften the room and lift the spirit. Plants do more than decorate. They clean the air, lower stress, and remind us of nature's rhythms. And they don't have to be complicated. A pot of basil in the kitchen, a fern in the hallway, or even a vase with eucalyptus branches can make a space feel fresher and more alive. I once worked with Mr. and Mrs. Parker, both in their 70s, who rarely used their kitchen beyond cooking meals. We placed 3 small herb pots, mint, rosemary, and parsley, by the window. Soon they began using the herbs in tea and cooking, and Mrs. Parker told me, "It feels like our kitchen has a heartbeat now." If gardening feels like too much, start with low-maintenance plants like succulents or spider plants. For those who prefer no upkeep at all, even a well-made artificial plant or a simple vase of branches can bring the same sense of calm. For seniors, the gift of plants is simple. They reconnect us with life itself. A touch of green turns a house from something static into something breathing, reminding us that growth and renewal are always possible at any age. Secret 7. Layered lighting. Many homes rely on a single ceiling light, but that kind of lighting often creates harsh shadows and leaves corners dark. For older adults, this isn't just unpleasant, it can make reading difficult and walking unsafe. The Nordic approach uses layered lighting, combining different sources to create warmth, safety, and flexibility. Think of lighting in 3 levels: general lighting to see the whole room, task lighting for specific activities like reading or cooking, and ambient lighting to set a mood. Together, these layers turn a flat space into one that adapts to your needs. I once visited Mr. Allen, who only had a bright ceiling lamp in his dining room. He joked that it felt like eating in an interrogation room. We added a dimmer switch, placed 2 wall sconces, and set a small lamp on his sideboard. Suddenly, dinners felt relaxed, and he told me now the room finally invites conversation. To try this yourself, start with 1 extra source of light. Add a lamp near your favorite chair, install a nightlight in the hallway, or place a small lamp on a side table. Always choose warm bulbs rather than cold. White ones, they create a gentle glow that feels natural and welcoming. For seniors, layered lighting means more than atmosphere. It means safety at night, comfort for the eyes, and spaces that can shift from practical to cozy with just a flick of a switch. Light arranged with care doesn't just brighten a home, it makes it truly livable. Part 3. Meaning and memories. Secret 8. Balance old and new. A home without history can feel empty, but a home filled only with the past can feel heavy. For older adults, the challenge is honoring memories while still creating a space that feels fresh and alive. The Nordic secret is to balance the old with the new, allowing treasured pieces to shine while blending them with modern comfort. I once worked with Mrs. Evans, who owned her grandmother's rocking chair. It was sturdy but worn, and she kept it tucked away because it looked out of place. Instead of hiding it, we restored the cushions with a simple, modern fabric. The result? That chair became her favorite spot for reading again, and she said, "It feels like a piece of my past has joined me in the present." This balance doesn't require large projects. An antique chest can serve as a coffee table beside a modern sofa. A vintage vase can hold fresh flowers on a sleek dining table. A handmade quilt can rest across a new bed frame. When old and new sit together, they create contrast, warmth, and a sense of story that no catalog can replicate. For seniors, this harmony carries deep meaning. It allows memories to remain visible and useful while preventing the home from feeling outdated or crowded. Instead of choosing between the past and the present, balance invites both and creates a space that truly reflects a life well lived. Secret 9. Art and personal items. What truly makes a house feel like home are not the walls or the furniture, but the personal touches, the art and objects that carry our stories. Yet too many items scattered without thought can feel like clutter, while hiding everything away can make a home feel lifeless. The secret is not about how much you display, but how you display it. I once helped Mrs. Carter, who had family photos on almost every surface of her living room. She loved them all, but the result was that none stood out. Together, we selected her most meaningful photographs, placed them in simple matching frames, and created a gallery wall. She smiled and said, "Now each picture feels honored instead of lost in the crowd." For seniors, this approach makes everyday living easier. A curated display reduces clutter, lowers stress, and keeps cleaning simple. At the same time, it gives the most important objects the space they deserve. Whether it's a painting you cherish, a quilt made by your mother, or a single travel photo, displaying it with intention makes it shine. You don't need to keep everything visible. Use decorative boxes for collections, rotate displays with the seasons, or choose one shelf to highlight your favorites. This way your home reflects who you are without overwhelming the space. In the end, art and personal items remind us of our journey. When chosen with care, they add warmth, memory, and identity to the home, turning it into a true reflection of the life you've lived. Secret 10. Smart organization. A tidy home is not just about appearances, it is about peace of mind. For seniors, poor organization can quickly turn into daily frustration. Misplaced glasses, cluttered tables, or closets packed so tightly they feel impossible to use. Smart organization is the key that makes minimalism work in real life, allowing a home to stay calm and manageable every single day. I once visited a family with 3 young children. Their grandmother, Mrs. Lee, shared the home and often felt overwhelmed by toys scattered everywhere. Instead of constant arguments, we created a simple system. Each child had a labeled basket in neutral colors. At the end of the day, toys went back into their baskets. The children loved the routine, and Mrs. Lee finally felt her living room belonged to her again. She told me, "For the first time, I can sit down without stepping on a car or a doll." Organization doesn't need to be complicated. Start by giving every item a clear home: a small tray for keys, a box for remote controls, a shelf for books you actually read. Drawer dividers, rolling bins, or furniture with hidden storage can save both space and energy. These simple systems reduce bending, searching, and stress. For older adults, smart organization brings freedom. It saves time, reduces risk, and makes cleaning easier. Most importantly, it keeps the home supportive instead of demanding. When everything has its place, daily life flows more smoothly, and the home becomes what it should always be: a source of comfort, not of chaos. Part 4. Connection and rituals. Secret 11. Connect with the outdoors. Many older adults spend most of their time indoors, and over time, this can feel isolating. Rooms closed off from the outside world may be practical, but they slowly drain our sense of connection. In Nordic homes, the boundary between indoors and outdoors is softened. Even in the darkest winters, they make nature part of daily life. For seniors, this connection is more than design, it is nourishment for the spirit. I once visited Mr. and Mrs. Harris, both in their 70s, who had a small patio that stayed unused for years. The heavy door kept it separate from their living space. We replaced it with a glass sliding panel, added 2 comfortable chairs, and a simple potted plant. Within weeks, the patio became their favorite breakfast spot. Mrs. Harris told me, "We don't just look at the garden now, we live with it." You don't need a big yard to feel this connection. Pull back heavy curtains, choose light blinds, or place your reading chair by the window. Add plants near the glass to blur the line between inside and out. If you live in an apartment, even a small balcony can become a retreat with a chair, a cushion, and a pot of herbs. For seniors, connecting with the outdoors reduces stress, brightens mood, and makes the day feel more in rhythm with nature. It's a reminder that life continues to grow and change, and that we are always a part of it. Bringing the outside in is not just a design choice, it is a way to keep the heart open and alive. Secret 12. Useful decorations. Many of us fill our homes with decorative objects collected over the years: gifts, souvenirs, fragile trinkets. For older adults, these items often end up gathering dust, taking up space, and sometimes even becoming obstacles. In the Nordic way of living, beauty and usefulness go hand in hand. A decoration should not only look good but also serve a purpose in daily life. I once helped Mrs. Taylor, who had a wonderful collection of woven baskets stacked in her closet. They were beautiful but hidden away. Instead of leaving them unused, we placed one by her sofa to hold blankets, another on the kitchen table for fruit, and a smaller one near her chair to keep knitting yarn. She smiled and said, "Now they're not just memories, I actually live with them." This approach doesn't mean giving up the things you love, it means finding ways to bring them into your everyday routines. A ceramic vase can hold cooking utensils. A wooden bowl can serve fruit at the table. Candles can be lit during dinner instead of sitting untouched on a shelf. Suddenly, decoration becomes part of life, not just part of the background. For seniors, useful decorations simplify cleaning, reduce clutter, and create a home filled only with things that serve both the eye and the heart. It's a gentle reminder: the objects around us should not only tell our story, but also support the life we live each day. Secret 13. Ritual spaces. As we grow older, daily routines become more than habits. They are anchors that give structure and meaning to our days. Yet many homes are not designed to support these rituals. A space may be clean and practical, but if it doesn't invite the activities we love, reading, tea, prayer, or simple reflection, it can feel incomplete. The Nordic secret is to create ritual spaces, small corners that nurture the routines that matter most. I once met Mr. White, 85, who often felt restless at home. He had everything he needed, yet he said, "I don't know where to settle." We created a cozy nook with his radio, a lamp, and a soft blanket. He began calling it his memory chair. Each morning, he would sit there, listen to music, and start the day calmly. That little corner gave him more peace than any grand redesign could have. Creating ritual spaces does not require much. A chair by the window with a table for tea, a small shelf for favorite books, or even a side table for writing letters can become a daily retreat. What matters is not size, but intention, the feeling that this spot is yours. For seniors, these spaces become sanctuaries, places to pause, reflect, and reconnect with what matters. They remind us that the home is not just where we live, but where we practice the rhythms of life that bring us joy. A ritual space whispers, "This is where you belong and this moment is yours." Secret 14. Seasonal touches. Homes can sometimes feel the same day after day, as if time has stopped inside. For older adults, this sameness can easily turn into monotony. Yet nature outside is always changing: spring blossoms, autumn leaves, winter's quiet. The Nordic way is to let those rhythms enter our homes through small seasonal touches that refresh both space and spirit. I once visited Mrs. Walker, a grandmother of 4. She began placing pine cones and small string lights on her coffee table each winter, then replaced them with wildflowers in spring. Her grandchildren loved it so much that they now rush to see what season it is today. What seemed like a small gesture became a joyful ritual for the whole family. You don't need elaborate decorations. A vase of autumn leaves, a bowl of seashells from summer walks, or a light blanket swapped for a heavier one in winter can transform the atmosphere. Keep a few neutral pieces year-round, like simple trays or glass vases, and change only the accents with each season. For seniors, these shifts bring gentle reminders that life continues to move and renew itself. They keep the home fresh without effort, and they invite a sense of celebration into ordinary days. Seasonal touches are not about decoration alone, they are about staying connected with the flow of life, one small change at a time. Secret 15. Shared meals. Too often, meals in modern homes are rushed, eaten in front of the television, or taken separately. For older adults, this habit quietly steals away one of the most precious opportunities for connection. In Nordic culture, the dining table is not just a place to eat, it is a space to slow down, to share stories, and to feel part of something bigger. I remember Mrs. Jenkins, who told me her grandchildren rarely stayed for dinner. The TV was always on, and the dining table felt like an afterthought. We encouraged her to refresh the space with a light wooden table, soft pendant lighting, and a simple vase of fresh herbs. Soon, her family began gathering again. She smiled and said, "Now they linger. Dinner has become the heart of our home." You don't need elaborate meals or expensive settings. Cloth napkins instead of paper, a candle lit even on a weekday evening, or placing phones out of sight can transform dinner into a true moment of presence. A simple bowl of soup, when shared with care, becomes more nourishing than a feast eaten in silence. For seniors, shared meals strengthen bonds across generations, reduce loneliness, and make food itself more enjoyable. More than nourishment, these gatherings give a sense of belonging. Around the table, stories are passed down, laughter is shared, and love is felt. In the end, a meal together is not just about what is served, it is about who is present. And when we choose to honor this ritual, the dining table becomes what it was always meant to be, the warm center of family life. At the Senior Nest, these secrets are more than decoration. They're about creating homes that heal, protect, and celebrate life, especially for older adults who deserve spaces that honor their years. Don't try all 15 at once. Start with just one. Maybe place a plant on your table. Maybe move your favorite chair toward the window. Each small step makes your home more than walls, it makes it a nest. So here's my challenge this week: choose one Swedish secret and bring it into your life. Then notice, does your home feel lighter, safer, more like you? That's the true gift of a cozy, minimalist home, not perfection, but a place where your spirit can finally rest.